Mama's providers and nurses are responsible for their actions related to Mama's death. I'm holding Emerson Hospital's senior leadership team accountable for their role in the cover up of Mama's death. I assert that Emerson Hospital killed Mama. Those words are profound and chilling, and they should have sent a shockwave through Emerson Hospital and prompted full transparency. But they didn't. Why? Is the senior leadership team involved in the cover up of Mama's death? What did the senior leadership team know? When did they know it? And what did they do? How many other deaths has Emerson Hospital covered up? Cover ups thrive on secrecy, whispers, and quid pro quo. I'm shining a light on Emerson Hospital's corruption, and I'm telling Mama's story. What's done in the dark will come to light. This is the senior leadership team at Emerson Hospital. Christine Schuster is the president and CEO. I mentioned Christine Schuster in my first video. I reached out to her over a year ago and told her administrator that I had serious concerns about the circumstances of Mama's death. The silence and lack of transparency from the chief executive officer is sickening. A patient walked down the third floor hallway of Emerson Hospital to the John Cummings building for a doctor's appointment. That patient stopped by the CEO's office unannounced and congratulated the CEO on her position. That patient returned on several occasions unannounced and had several conversations with the CEO, including discussions about the CEO's mother. That patient, Christine Schuster, was Doretha Hope Pringle, or more affectionately, Mama. Take a good look. The kindness that Mama showed you is the essence of who Mama was. Mama is, present tense, the kindest person I will ever know. Mama loved to talk about everything. Mama would spend hours talking on the phone, laughing and giggling. Mama had the biggest heart I've ever seen. Mama had big, beautiful brown eyes and a kind, warm smile. I won't sugarcoat this. Mama was also the boss. On the morning of August 6, 2021, Mama smiled, laughed, and talked incessantly in the emergency department. Mama looked much different when I saw her hours later in room 404 in the critical care unit on life support. CEO Christine Schuster, how would you feel if Emerson Hospital killed your mother, smirked about it, lied about it, and covered it up? Mama told me about her conversations with you, so I already know your answer to that question. The follow up question is, why is it acceptable to raise Mama's systolic blood pressure to 272, smirk about it, lie about it, and cover it up? Christine Schuster has a nursing degree, so she knows what happened to Mama when Emerson Hospital raised her systolic blood pressure to 272 for over 9 hours. Christine Schuster can continue to pretend that she doesn't know, but she knows. I'm holding Christine Schuster, the president and CEO of Emerson Hospital, accountable for the cover up of Mama's death. Next, we have Eric Statsny. He is the Senior Vice President of Operations and Chief Operating Officer. According to the website, he oversees Emerson's inpatient and outpatient operations, human resources, and physician practices. Next, we have Stephen Coco. He is the Senior Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. The Emerson Hospital website says he is eager to work for a health system focused on the patient experience, allowing him to be closer to the patient. Stephen Coco, are you eager to work for a health system that is covering up Mama's death? Next, we have Barrett Kitch, MD. Dr. Kitch is board certified in critical care medicine. Emerson Hospital's website says he is responsible for the oversight and functions of Emerson's departments of quality and patient safety. Dr. Kitch, Mama's story worsens, but you already know that. You will have a front row seat and hear more about your CCU doctors, quality, and patient safety. Dr. Kitch, board certified in critical care medicine. What happened to Mama when Emerson Hospital raised her systolic blood pressure to 272 for my calculation for over 9 hours? Dr. Kitch, board certified in critical care medicine, did you become a doctor so you could support the cover up of Mama's death? Dr. Kitch, board certified in critical care medicine, do you recall your medical training on a hypertensive crisis? Next, we have Craig L. Best, MD. According to the Emerson website, Dr. Best oversees the direction and management of all Emerson Practice Associates practices. Dr. Craig L. Best, we have a dichotomy. How do you oversee the direction and management of the physician practices at Emerson Hospital when you are participating in the cover up of Mama's death? How do you oversee the direction and management of physician practices at Emerson Hospital when you are supporting the white wall of silence? Dr. Craig L. Best, if I had a physician practice at Emerson Hospital and you try to oversee the direction of my practice, I would have 3 words waiting for you: Aretha Hope Pringle. Dr. Craig L. Best, I have the same question for you. What happened to Mama when Emerson Hospital raised her systolic blood pressure to 272 for my calculation for over 9 hours? Do you recall your medical training on a hypertensive crisis? Next, we have Mark Manfelt, who holds a nursing degree. He is the Vice President of Patient Care and Chief Nursing Officer. The Emerson Hospital website says he is responsible for the planning, growth, and operations of nursing and patient care. Mr. Manfelt, you will hear many more details about the abysmal care you provided for Mama. I had the same question for you. Mark Manfelt, what happened to Mama when Emerson Hospital raised her systolic blood pressure to 272 for my calculation for over 9 hours? Was a hypertensive crisis covered in your nursing curriculum? Next, we have Christy Barney, Vice President of Quality and Patient Safety. The website says Ms. Barney brings a wealth of leadership experience to her role as head of the Quality and Patient Safety Department. I won't make any comments out of respect for Mama's memory. And finally, we have Dave Ryan, Vice President of Human Resources. According to the Emerson Hospital website, he is responsible for ensuring that Emerson Hospital attracts and retains top healthcare talent to serve Emerson's patients and community. Dave Ryan, what are your thoughts on your top healthcare talent who treated Mama? What are your thoughts on your top healthcare talent lying about the circumstances of Mama's death? What are your thoughts on your top healthcare talent covering up Mama's death? CEO Christine Schutzer and the senior leadership team are accountable for these numbers, and Mama's story worsens. Even more doctors join the cover-up. I can't understand how so many doctors covered up Mama's death without the implicit or explicit approval of CEO Christine Schutzer and the senior leadership team. And given the number of doctors involved in the cover-up of Mama's death, I don't see how Mama's death is the first death Emerson Hospital covered up. Even the Massachusetts General Hospital doctor who consulted in the emergency department refused to cross Emerson Hospital's white wall of silence and help me. This wasn't a random MGH doctor. This was Mama's MGH doctor, who had been her doctor for years. I'll talk about that more in an upcoming video. My message to Emerson Hospital is this: you may control the Emerson Hospital doctors and intimidate Mama's MGH doctor, but you neither control nor intimidate me. I'm coming for the truth. There are 3 types of patient harm in healthcare, shown here in order of severity from left to right: a near miss, an adverse event, and a sentinel event. A sentinel event is a subcategory of an adverse event. I assert that Mama's harm is a sentinel event. The Joint Commission defines a sentinel event as a patient safety event that results in death, permanent harm, or severe temporary harm. The American Medical Association has a code of medical ethics that includes governance of patient harm. I assert that the American Medical Association Code of Medical Ethics, Chapter 8, Opinion 8.8, entitled Required Reporting of Adverse Events, applies in Mama's case. Let's look at Opinion 8.8. Cases in which there is clearly a causal relationship between use of a drug/device and an adverse event, especially a serious event, will be rare. Physicians need not be certain that there is such an event, or even that there is a reasonable likelihood of a causal relationship, to suspect that an adverse event has occurred. A physician who suspects that an adverse reaction to a drug or medical device has occurred has an ethical responsibility to A. Communicate that information to the professional community through established reporting mechanisms. B. Promptly report serious adverse events requiring hospitalization, death, or medical or surgical intervention to the appropriate regulatory agency. I submit that there is more than a reasonable likelihood that a causal relationship exists between Mama's fatal injuries and Emerson Hospital using pressors to raise Mama's systolic blood pressure to 272 for over 9 hours by my calculation, thereby allowing Emerson Hospital to suspect that an adverse event had occurred. Further, I submit that Emerson Hospital's extraordinary efforts to cover up this drug error by the physicians, nurses, and senior leadership team provides damning evidence that Emerson Hospital unequivocally knew a sentinel event had occurred. The Emerson Hospital senior leadership team cannot claim plausible deniability of the physician's cover up because I made them aware of it. Some members of the senior leadership team may have directed or participated in the cover up of Mama's death in its infancy or shortly after that. Dr. Barrett Kitch, board certified in critical care medicine, and Dr. Craig L. Best. Neither CEO Christine Schuster nor the other senior leadership team members are guided by the American Medical Association Code of Medical Ethics, but both of you are. Following the American Medical Association Code of Medical Ethics, Chapter 8, Opinion 8.8, Paragraph A and Paragraph B, please tell me what established reporting mechanisms and which regulatory agencies were used to report Mama's death promptly. Let's look at the American Medical Association Code of Medical Ethics, Chapter 8, Opinion 8.6, entitled Promoting Patient Safety. It says, in the context of healthcare, an error is an unintended act or omission or a flawed system or plan that harms or has the potential to harm a patient. Patients have a right to know their past and present medical status, including conditions that may have resulted from medical error. Open communication is fundamental to the trust that underlies the patient-physician relationship, and physicians have an obligation to deal honestly with patients at all times, in addition to their obligation to promote patient welfare and safety. Concern regarding legal liability should not affect the physician's honesty with the patient. Even when new information regarding the medical error will not alter the patient's medical treatment or therapeutic options, individual physicians who have been involved in a possible medical error should A. Disclose the occurrence of the error, explain the nature of the potential harm, and provide the information needed to enable the patient to make informed decisions about future medical care. Immediately after Mama was injured in the operating room, the doctors in the CCU family meeting simultaneously developed a mysterious illness that caused spontaneous and selective amnesia about what happened in the operating room in their training on hypertensive crisis. This mysterious illness seems to have spread to the Emerson Hospital senior leadership team. Despite my numerous inquiries, Emerson Hospital never told me the precipitating event for placing Mama on life support. Dr. Barrett Kitch, board certified in critical care medicine, and Dr. Craig L. Best, please tell me how these actions do not violate the American Medical Association Code of Medical Ethics, Chapter 8, Opinion 8.6. The violation of this code of medical ethics pisses me off. I've refrained from using untoward language in my videos, but I'm not editing out that bad word. My website and YouTube channel are called 27 Days for a reason. I kept Mama on life support for 27 days before I decided to discontinue care. I waited and waited and waited for Mama to get better. But Mama was never going to get better. And Emerson Hospital knew this and lied about it. If I had known that Emerson Hospital raised Mama's systolic blood pressure to 272 for 9 hours, I would not have kept Mama on life support for so long. Emerson Hospital's actions are beyond unprofessional and unethical. They are evil. It gets worse. Emerson Hospital's medical director had the audacity to try to bully me to kill Mama faster or get Mama the hell out of Emerson Hospital, while Emerson Hospital was deliberately withholding relevant medical information that I needed to make an informed decision about Mama's care. Anyone who has made an end of life decision for their loved one knows it is a gut-wrenching experience. Now imagine making an end of life decision surrounded by corrupt doctors whose only interest is keeping their secret buried forever and saving their asses. I need to know what happened to Mama. Then I must deal with the trauma Emerson Hospital put me through. And then I must go through the grieving process. 2 years after Mama's death, I'm still asking, what happened to Mama? I believe Emerson Hospital deliberately withheld damning parts of Mama's medical records after Mama passed, so I would never find out what happened. I think Emerson Hospital intentionally withheld medical information from me, even though I am the healthcare proxy agent, to conceal the fact that Emerson Hospital killed Mama. I believe Emerson Hospital unequivocally knew they killed Mama, hence the cover up. I should not have had to request Mama's medical records 4 times. Dr. Barrett Kitch, board certified in critical care medicine, and Dr. Craig L. Best tell me how Emerson Hospital's actions do not violate the American Medical Association Code of Medical Ethics, Chapter 8, Opinion 8.6. Let's continue with the Medical Code of Ethics. B. Acknowledge the error and express professional and compassionate concern toward patients who have been harmed in the context of healthcare. C. Explain efforts that are being taken to prevent similar occurrences in the future. This one is important to me. I would give up every possession I have in exchange for 1 more hour with Mama. But that won't happen. I can't bring Mama back. It's important to me that Emerson Hospital doesn't put another family through this hell. Emerson Hospital won't even acknowledge what happened in the operating room, let alone explain efforts to prevent similar occurrences in the future. How many other deaths has Emerson Hospital covered up? There isn't any compassion from Emerson Hospital. It's all about the cover up, even now, 2 years later. I will not let Mama's death be in vain. Dr. Kitch, board certified in critical care medicine, and Dr. Craig L. Best tell me how the cover up of Mama's death is not in violation of the American Medical Association Code of Medical Ethics. Let's continue with the Code of Ethics. D. Provide for continuity of care to patients who have been harmed during the course of care, including facilitating transfer of care when a patient has lost trust in the physician. I firmly believe Emerson Hospital lied when I requested that Mama be transferred to MGH. After the supposed phone call with MGH, CCU Doctor 2 said MGH would not accept Mama because they were at capacity. But that doesn't make sense. It seems more reasonable that MGH would not take Mama because Mama was fatally injured, not because they were at capacity. Per the American Medical Association Code of Medical Ethics, Chapter 8, Opinion 8.6, physicians have an obligation to deal honestly with patients at all times. Dr. Barrett Kitch, board certified in critical care medicine, and Dr. Craig L. Best, you don't have a choice. You are obligated to tell the truth about Mama's death. Being a doctor is a privilege, not a right. If you don't act right, you don't get the privilege of being a doctor. What happened to Mama? The blue wall of silence in law enforcement also exists in medicine, called the white wall of silence. This is Emerson Hospital's white wall of silence. It does not appear that the esteemed senior leadership team can collectively determine what happened when Emerson Hospital raised Mama's systolic blood pressure to 272. This team includes a CEO with a nursing degree and two others with nursing degrees. It consists of two doctors, one board certified in critical care medicine. And yet, this esteemed team cannot seem to figure out what happened when Emerson Hospital raised Mama's systolic blood pressure to 272 for over 9 hours by my calculation. I can figure it out, and I have no medical training whatsoever. My degree is in electrical engineering. I have two suggestions. Emerson Hospital has a board of directors. The Emerson Hospital website says the board members provide guidance and oversight to ensure that Emerson Hospital fulfills its community mission. Killing Mama and covering up Mama's death does not fulfill the community's mission. On the contrary, Emerson Hospital's corruption threatens and harms the community. This is Emerson Hospital's board of directors. I won't introduce everyone in this video, but I have some comments for everyone on the board of directors with a medical background. Gloria Clow is the Emerson Board of Directors chair and has a nursing degree. Eileen M. Deignan, MD, is a board-certified dermatologist and serves on the quality committee. David Lautz, MD, is the medical director of the Emerson Center for Weight Loss. James A. Street, MD, is the former chair of the Department of Anesthesia and Perioperative Medicine at Emerson Hospital and a clinical professor at Northeastern University. Gloria Clow, Dr. Deignan, Dr. Lautz, and Dr. Street. What happened to Mama when Emerson Hospital raised her systolic blood pressure to 272 for over 9 hours by my calculation? Do you recall your training on a hypertensive crisis? David I. Rose, MD, is the chair of radiology at Emerson Hospital and president of Northbridge Imaging Group. Dr. Rose is board certified in radiology. He has been on the medical staff at Emerson Hospital since 1999. Dr. Rose, board certified in radiology. Either you or someone in your radiology department read Mama's brain scan. Dr. Rose, board certified in radiology. What happened to Mama when Emerson Hospital raised her systolic blood pressure to 272 for over 9 hours by my calculation? Dr. Rose, board certified in radiology. What injuries would Mama sustain with a systolic blood pressure of 272 for over 9 hours? Dr. Rose, board certified in radiology. What would you see in the images of Mama's brain after her systolic blood pressure was raised to 272 for over 9 hours? Dr. Rose, board certified in radiology. If Emerson Hospital raised your Mama's systolic blood pressure to 272 for over 9 hours, would the injuries to your Mama's brain look different than the injuries that Mama's brain sustained after her systolic blood pressure was raised to 272 for over 9 hours. Dr. Rose, board certified in radiology, how would you feel if Emerson Hospital raised your mama's systolic blood pressure to 272 for over 9 hours, smirked about it, lied about it, and covered it up? Dr. Rose, board certified in radiology, do you recall your medical training on a hypertensive crisis? Supporting the white wall of silence is the essence of corruption. Does the Emerson Board of Directors have the integrity to address the corruption at Emerson Hospital? Or will you support the white wall of silence? There is no neutral stance. You either support the cover up of Mama's death or you don't. If anyone on the Board of Directors disagrees with Emerson's corruption, you should speak out against it individually or collectively or resign from the board. If anyone on the Board of Directors needs proof of anything I've said in my videos, I'm happy to sit down with you and walk through Mama's medical records. CEO Christine Schuster knows how to contact me. I'll be watching to see if the Board of Directors has the integrity to address the corruption at Emerson Hospital and tell the truth about Mama's death. What happened to Mama? I have a second suggestion. Emerson Hospital is affiliated with the prestigious Massachusetts General Hospital. MGH is the original and largest teaching hospital of Harvard Medical School. MGH's website says it is consistently ranked as a top hospital in the nation by U.S. News and World Report. Mama's doctors were at Emerson Hospital and MGH. Perhaps MGH can help the senior leadership team at Emerson Hospital figure out what happened to Mama when Emerson Hospital raised her systolic blood pressure to 272 for over 9 hours by my calculation. As perplexed as the senior leadership team at Emerson Hospital seems, I have no doubt whatsoever that everyone at MGH, both presidents, the physicians, the nurses, the technicians, the cafeteria staff, the valet team, the volunteers, the phone support staff, the security team, the pharmacist, the florist, the cleaning crew, the receptionists, the window washers, and the patients had already figured out what happened to Mama when Emerson Hospital raised her systolic blood pressure to 272 for over 9 hours by my calculation. So I respectfully request that the two MGH presidents confer with their struggling affiliate hospital and perplexed CEO and senior leadership team and make it make sense. I don't have a statute of limitations for pursuing the truth about Mama's death. There is no date the CEO, the senior leadership team, the board of directors, or anyone involved in Mama's death can circle on the calendar after which you can breathe a sigh of relief. There is no date on your calendar when you can awkwardly dance down the hallways of Emerson Hospital singing "Oh Happy Day" off tune. My voice will become louder and louder. The last thing Mama did before she passed was for me, and Mama did it twice. Mama fought for me her entire life. Now it's time for me to fight for Mama. I'm fighting back with Emerson Hospital's medical records and my guardian angel. I will relentlessly pursue Emerson Hospital until they tell the truth about Mama's death. The big lie in healthcare is that when mistakes happen, they are openly discussed and root cause analysis is performed to prevent these errors from happening again. Mama's case is not a near miss. Mama's case is not an adverse event. Mama's case is a sentinel event. I buried Mama on September 17th, 2021 at 10 o'clock a.m. Yet there is sickening silence from the senior leadership team at Emerson Hospital, which includes 5 individuals with medical backgrounds. The big lie in healthcare is just culture. At Emerson Hospital, just culture means just cover it up. As tragic as Mama's death is, CEO Christine Schuster could have been the hero. When Miss Schuster learned about the cover up, whether she knew about it in its infancy or when I brought it to her attention, she could easily have said, "Not in my hospital." CEO Christine Schuster could have told the truth. Instead, I had to spend hundreds of hours reading Mama's medical records at significant harm to my mental health to find Emerson Hospital's secret. CEO Christine Schuster could have been the beacon in a hospital system where CEOs, senior leadership teams, doctors, and nurses actively embrace the white wall of silence while pretending to practice just culture. I did some research on the number of patients killed annually due to medical errors. The numbers are startling. 250,000 patients are killed every year by medical errors. I'm not alone. So many families have been devastated by their loved ones being killed by medical errors, and yet this number persists year after year. I believe Mama's death is due to Emerson Hospital raising her systolic blood pressure to 272 for over 9 hours. September 3rd, 2021, at 9:54 p.m. is a date I will never forget. That was when Mama became part of this stark statistic. I refuse to let Mama's death be in vain. President and CEO Christine Schuster and the senior leadership team's behavior reflects an organization that doesn't care about Mama's death, and that is unacceptable. I assert that Emerson Hospital killed Mama by raising her systolic blood pressure to 272. What if it wasn't Mama in the Emerson Hospital morgue? What if Emerson Hospital raised the systolic blood pressure to 272 for over 9 hours for someone the senior leadership team loved, and their family member was in the morgue instead of Mama? What would you do then, CEO Christine Schuster? Dr. Barrett Kitch, board certified in critical care medicine? Dr. Craig L. Best? Christy Barney? Mark Manfelt? Dave Ryan? Stephen Coco? Eric Statsny? Now there's someone in the morgue who looks like you. Now can you recall your nursing and medical training on a hypertensive crisis? Now does the Emerson Hospital senior leadership team care? Mama's story resumes in part 6. The senior leadership team knows what's coming. What happened to Mama? What's done in the dark will come to light.